All right, so corner, that stud. Second one is on the third bolt from, or the second one from the front, the third from the back. Passenger side here, there's a stud there, so it's stud, bolt, stud, stud. So stud, stud, stud. They're mostly studs here. In fact, there's only one bolt. It's here, on this one anyway. Okay, so 7 studs and 1 bolt. 1 bolt was here. The passenger side are pulled off. They're all here, so just FYI on the studs, they're short side and a long side. Obviously, the short side goes into the I don't want to say block, but it's into the valve covers there. And you can just tell by the orientation of the washer. Obviously, it goes flat against the valve cover. So let's just pull this off now. All right, and see what we got under here. That's the first look. So, I mean, nothing obviously. I mean, they were definitely caking down the sides, the front, staining in here. So, yeah, they're kind of fused. So I don't know if they're the other one. Just kind of peeling off the rubber. I apologize for that. So there it goes, but there's our gasket. Any fail points that we can see that are obvious? Around the bolt holes there. Pretty weak, pretty weak. Here you can see that failed. Probably around those bolt holes there. Would have been this one here. Yep, you can see that one. There's a failure point. See around that bolt hole. Sorry, I'm shadowing it out. I don't got my light on, but we can turn our light on, can't we? All right, there we go. So you can see probably a failure point right there. Like I said earlier, it could have just been my intake manifolds blowing out. Okay, so this driver's side, our clips are on the first 2 studs. So there's stud, stud, stud. And the back one there is a bolt. This one is different here on the corner. I can't remember what was holding something on the harness. I think it was our fuel line clipped onto there, and then the fuel line ran into the fuel clip. So we'll worry about that later, but just the FYI. And then the harness clip goes onto the stud. This is the second from the back on the intake manifold side. So it's this special stud. It holds a clip for our fuel line. Harness clip here on that stud, and then our front on that is a bolt. So there's bolts on the 2 front ones are bolts. They should all be 11 mil or 7/16 sockets. We'll work to get these off, but barring this one, I'm not quite sure. This is like a bushing. Okay, so this is a bushing. So it's a stud and it has this bushing spacer, and then this clip goes on there, and then you probably put some other kind of nut or something to secure that if we can't get it to secure properly later. That bushing was for this stud to hold fuel line clip. All right, now we got to pull off these other clips on first and second, then we can access all the bolts. So just get a little screwdriver under there to kind of pry it up a little bit. It should come off. Do it evenly. I don't want to break these things. The problem with a lot of these clips and retainers, the plastic, they break easily. You can't find easy replacements. There you go. Exactly what I said. Do as I say, not do. I can probably still glue that, but I gotta get this fucker off. Darn it. There she is. So it's got 4 of them. clean it, I'll glue it. Got some plastic glue that'll do it. It might be ABS, but I think it's more polypropylene likely. But anyway, about that later. Hopefully this doesn't give me as much trouble. I'll let you film me to do all of them, but I'll show you how easy it is once you get one of these. I mean, you can get it for a second wrench. But the first step is to get it on there. Make sure you have the right size. Should be the right size. It comes right out. There's a stud assembly. 7 more to go. It's harder with it where there's these harness. You know, when you're doing this without pulling everything off, you kind of, some people get like zip ties. I'm doing it at the same time that I'm pulling everything off. So I've already got the harnesses somewhat moved out of the way and all the hoses and shit. You're just doing the valve covers. You do have to pull off your PCV hoses and everything that's blocking your access to these bolts and these harnesses. You gotta lift it out of the way, zip tie them up somewhere. Right now they are loose enough because I've pulled off a lot of stuff getting to this intake manifold. Yep, you can see how oily it is here. So these gaskets have failed. Now, because I've got everything pulled off, specifically the air compressor and alternator and accessory bracket, have a little bit more access here. But you're still going to struggle with this harness, so I might have to use a wrench or do it without an extension. Let me figure it out first before I try to film. So in my case, I can't do this with one hand, but yeah, I was able to squeeze it in over the heater tube. Like I said, you might have problems with your air compressor and a bracket in the way, and you have to figure something out creative to get that off easily without pulling off the accessory bracket. But yeah. Okay, so for this other one, I just took off the extension, pulled that off, and my deep socket should be able to get it, no problem now. Just didn't have clearance with that extension there on this particular one. So the one you're probably going to struggle with the most is that inner corner one. All right, last one. All right, pull it out with my hand and we're done. Okay. All right. Here's our little cake. This is the bottom of the gasket. It's looking for, I'm not going to replace it anyway, but I'm always interested to see where the gasket might have failed. Not really easy, but it looks like around the bolt holes are vulnerable spots for these. But hasn't blown or anything like that, but it's clearly been leaking and seeping. Caked. Something's going on here. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so now we're going to clean the throttle body. So you can see it's quite dusty and oily. And that's the weak link for ensuring you got a clean fuel mixture. If it's dirty, if your air filter's dirty and all the dust and grime and stuff in there, that's not good for your combustion. So remove it. But the first thing is to remove all the electrical things. There's 3 of them. There's a throttle position sensor and there's a map sensor. Ooh. They're all T25 Torx bolts there. Maybe T20 or good cameraman, are you? Okay, so there's one. I'll clean these all separately. You gotta be careful. I don't want to just use a rag, some solvent on it. I don't want to spray it directly. And move all those. You've just got this mechanical metal piece that I can use some parts cleaner with and just kind of wipe it down, get all the carbon deposits and dust off of it. So my arsenal is here. This stuff look like you can do intakes as well, throttle bodies, etc. I mean, I guess you can use carb cleaner too. And then we got some different, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to wipe a lot of that down, but nastiness, huh? So yeah, good rag. Two hands is obviously preferred. Just clean out all the crevices, yeah? So while I can't really show you how to do it, but when you open your throttle body, then you can have, obviously with my second hand, use a brush like that to get in on the plates there. And okay, got them all installed. The only thing I'm not 100% sure is this could go either way. I could have the throttle position sensor upside down, or is that the map? I think that's the throttle position, yeah. We'll double check on that before we install it properly, but yeah. IAC and map sensor installed. New gasket, appears like it can go either way. But I've already cleaned the bolts. Let us position. Alright, we're just going to do a little bit of this stuff, thread locker orange, because I have seen these, noticed on the last time I did this, they do tend to come out a little bit, and you have to check the torque a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Yeah, we're hand tightening them on now. I mean, we'll use a socket, but with the hand, just to get them, we'll torque them after. Basically, I want to close off any openings on the engine because there's a cat that keeps coming up in here, jumping through here. I blocked a little bit. It's really feisty, but anyway. All right, now for the driver's side, just want to have a look at that nice clean blue Felpro gasket. And there's that side. Just remember that the PCV valves, they go in the back. This is the oil filler tube. There. All right. Easier to do with two hands to line everything up, but yeah. These gaskets are pretty solid. And so if you just get it right and torque it right with the thread locker, it should be good. Okay, torque specs for the throttle body bolts there are 200 inch-pounds. And for the cylinder head cover gaskets or valve cover gaskets, these are 95 inch-pounds. 95 inch-pounds. And obviously you want to do crisscross patterns when torquing them and checking them, double check. So, other thing I need to do before I forgot is, so the evap purge, there's a line, evap purge line here that feeds a vacuum. This is what I originally had pulled off. This was two hard vacuum lines, and I needed a rubber one like here, but that's obviously past its time. So we went and we bought some possible soft connectors. However, that line is too big for any of these, so I'll utilize these for something else down the road. There's none of these will do for this particular job because of the size of this, but we did find this elbow that will do, so we'll just have to cut this. I don't need it to be all that special, just needed to be that length, so we'll go ahead and cut it off there, and that should do it. We got lots of stuff to do. All the connectors, all the hoses, all the fuel injectors, fuel line. Got lots of stuff to get it back together. But slowly but surely.